Okay, I'm in. Let me see something. Go all the way down. So what's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? It's your man Luke down here at WPMM. You already know I'm back again one more time. I'm gonna give a few minutes just for people to kind of tune in. You know, we broadcasting over like multiple streaming networks, so give people a little minute just to tune in real quick, and then we just gonna have a discussion. You know how we do. You know, so yeah, y'all stay vibing with me, man. Give me a few minutes here, and I'll be right back. How many people in here right now? Hold on, let me look. Let's see. Okay, it's like 4. All right, everybody tuning in, welcome, welcome. You know what I'm saying? Get you some coffee or whatever you like to drink, whatever you like to do. Go ahead and get that and get ready because we're gonna have a little conversation tonight, as usual. Let's see. Description. Oh yeah, oh yeah, I'm good. Just giving a few minutes for people to tune in. Yeah, I'm finna take off. Yep, yep. All right. All right. All right. So I guess we're gonna be picking the brain of Luke, you know what I'm saying, and see what's gonna come out on the other side. You know, we have to take a second just to revamp Woo Sa, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us go to work, do things like this. So we gotta take a second to Woo Sa so that our mind's eye can start to understand where we're going in the spiritual realm. You know, so unwind. Like I told people, man, you got to get you a glass of wine, do that, sit back, you know what I'm saying? We just going to conversate. Um, most people don't know that Monday is supposed to be the actual day of rest. It's really not Sunday. It's supposed to be Monday, which is Moon Day. Um, if you know, you know. If you don't know, then you got to go research that. But Moon Day is actually supposed to be the day of rest. That's why most people hate going to work on Mondays. You know what I'm saying? So I know how Mondays can be. So take your time, get comfortable, sit back, and we're going to conversate. All right, give me just a second. Let me pull this up here. All right. Hmm. Okay, so I think I gave enough time. So we're going to go ahead and kick this off, you know, see where we can go with it. First thing I want to say is, man, good evening. You know what I'm saying, to the people that tune in on a regular basis. I appreciate you. Um, Again, this is Monday, so I know how Monday can be as far as attention span go. You got a lot to get prepared for tomorrow, but I only ask for your ears for a little bit of time. Um, Me, I'm here doing this um, because I feel it's necessary, and well, I felt that it's been necessary to do what I'm doing. And fortunately, you know what I'm saying, I've been given an outlet to do that. Now, what I'm noticing is that as time progresses, the thing that I do or what I'm doing is becoming more and more of an absolute necessity, as much as my own people try to tear it apart. It's not easy to change your mind. You know what I'm saying? It took 18 years to convince you that the world was a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And after 18 years, those ways or those learning systems that were not necessarily predicated in the best way for you or your people, they seem to cement themselves into your mindset and your psyche, so that we begin to outline the world of ease for another group of people or for different groups of people. We become accustomed to that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So to get in front of people and talk about something that's the opposite of the way that they've been living, of course, is going to bring some type of resistance. That's understood. That's natural. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of life. You know, we want to resist. You know what I mean? Everybody got to be a rebel. We did it with our parents. You know, people telling us what to do, the teachers, you know, our leaders in whatever aspect of community come in. We all had that time space where we just want to be a rebel, you know. However, only the foolish take those adolescent ways of ignorance and continue to propagate those things into their future. You see, because naturally we have an inclination to want to learn. You know what I'm saying? That's why the system around us has to meet us at the gate, so to speak. You come from your mother when you're getting ready to turn your head away from your mother, then the world says, bring your children here and drop them off here. You know what I'm saying? This is where we take them to school to learn them. So we fall into these different understandings and ways of life, and we looking at them, we looking at what's right in front of our face. And a lot of times we can't see that which is right in front of our face. So when someone comes along to point out that which is right in front of your face, it almost seems impossible that the world could be, that this could be the meaning of the world or the agenda of the world or whatever. But it's true. There are people that mean to hurt you, as well as there are people out there that could potentially love you. You know what I'm saying? And in this new time, you know, especially for our people, because it seems like when we talk about things that ail us or things that are not fitting our lifestyle and not giving us the purpose that we need for us, it's an issue. You know what I'm saying? So as long as we're talking about positive things and making people laugh and dance and do all these type of things, then we're deemed what's called valuable in today's society. You're valuable. You know what I'm saying? As long as I can make you dance and laugh, I'm valuable. You know what I'm saying? That's where my value is. If I can make you feel good or you know what I'm saying, or make you happy or bring you joy, even if it doesn't really bring my people anything, I'm just bringing you joy. Now I have value. You know what I'm saying? But outside of these realms, the value that we used to hold is falling down. But for some reason, it's not popular to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? This is not where the popularity lies. It's talking about the things that systematically keep us where we at. You know? So if I get out here and I'm, you know, man, this me, such and such and such, man, I'm on the porch, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna give you my rendition of the same story from a different neighborhood in another part of America, but it's the same exact story from the next nigga that's gonna come up here and say the same exact words, just in a different way. Then the next dude gonna come up here with the same exact story, and we all rappers. We all got the same exact background. You know what I'm saying? All of us will shoot you. All of us will run down on you. All of us will do the same exact activity. Nobody's any different than the next man. Everybody's the same. This is who we are. This is how we're being represented. When we know that's not true. You know? But this is the way we allowing the world to represent ourselves to the world. This is the way we're representing ourselves to the world. Like we have no predicated thought practice outside of what everybody else is doing. This is the way we move. That's not our way. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody sit in front of you and they take time out to talk, because there's a lot of people talking. There's a lot of avenues for conversation. You know, you can look anywhere, you know, look on TV, on YouTube, look on the news. Look, there's a whole lot of avenues for chatter. You know what I mean? But when you finally can see what's going on around you, and see, you got to understand, as always, I'm talking to people that look like me. Got to start with me first. You know what I'm saying? I have to start with me first. What you'll realize is these people or these avenues for chatter very rarely have anything to do with you. Oh, I'm going to get a whole lot of flack for that. But very rarely do they have anything to do with you. And when I say to do with you, I'm talking about your further advancement, your success as a people, okay? Not just one or two people that get to glow up and then sit back and point their finger at everybody else and say what everybody else ain't because somebody gave them an opportunity to create something of themselves. I'm not talking about one or two people, but I'm talking about as a group dynamic where we can all go to the same bank and apply for a loan and do what we got to do. And then the 90 percentile rate of success or approval is going to be going to your people. Does that happen? No. Jay-Z walk in the bank and let 50,000 of us regulars walk in behind him, and we'll see how that go. You see, we've become accustomed to this type of lifestyle for ourselves to the point that knowledge and understanding about the world, because that's all it is that makes a man more successful than the next man. The knowledge of something, taking action on that knowledge, applying the knowledge, and then reaping the reward. You know what I'm saying? So technically, we're not outside of anything when it comes to those standards. Now, we all know we can go out here in the world and find a whole bunch of reasons as to why it's difficult for our people to continue to move forward. But the difficulties that we feel, the difficulties we have to walk through in this world are simply predicated off of our own decision making that we have as a group of people. So when somebody's sitting in front of you talking to you, you know, giving you insight into things that are deeper for yourself, our natural way and design as a people, go back and do your research on who we were, not who we are right now. Go look at who we were. Was to take heed to those that came to you and presented you with storytelling. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm talking like this is because the tricknology, as Dick Gregory would call it, is happening so much more deep on a deeper scale. You see, it's almost like it's beginning to break through the waking mind and actually begin to put root into the subconscious reality. That even while we sleeping, we still propagating the same system, the same reality, because we have the same actions and the same motives. You know what I mean? And the same longings and the same desires. We're still doing things the exact same way, and we're looking for a different result. You see, you have to understand why all of a sudden black people were able to come into the financial understandings of credit. You know what I mean? And putting yourself into more debt in order to do this like this. Think about this. Take a second and just think about it. You know, we all had grandparents. They all did debt a certain type of way. Most of them stayed away from it to the best of their ability. Now we're in a world that's telling us to go running deeper into it. Why would that be the case? Why is that happening? We already can't get approved. We go into other places and we hear no. Then you had this person come along and say, oh, they keep telling you no? Well, I'll tell you what. Come join my team. I'm going to show you how to manipulate the credit so you can go run up, go put yourself deeper into debt. In order to make more money. But this is a never-ending cycle. The deeper you go into debt, the deeper you have to stay in debt. Now, Those companies that you go fix your credit for and do all these things for, they're looking for a debt profile. They don't care about the number. They're looking for a debt profile, meaning they're looking for how much debt you can take on and still maintain that debt for yourself. So let's just say they give you $100,000. Now you got to understand that back. What was that? 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, we talked about our people and why finance hurts so many more of our people than it does their people, because we're using an aspect of mentality that is not natural to ourselves. Okay, you're talking about people that are coming from a barter system. If you got something and I have something you want, you got something I want, we just trade. You see, which kind of is the same. You know what I'm saying? Because you take money, you trade it for what you desire, right? So you think. But see, the difference is that if I give you cotton and you give me a piece of gold, the deal is done. See, the difference between the new age system is that if you give me a car and I give you $100,000 in debt notes, I just offset my debt to a future date. You understand how the complexities of that will begin to gather and accumulate really, really quickly. It gets really complex really quick. Anything that has to be complex in order for you to reach a goal is lying. There's a lie somewhere. You see? And for some reason, our people especially have gotten so used to being lied to that we walk blindly into these arenas without stopping to think about what we're doing or predicating further unto ourselves. So you got to understand something, man. People can come tell me, they don't agree with me or they want me to do this or do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool and all. I understand where you're coming from. But what is the point of me diving into situations or reality that, first of all, are not in alignment with who I am, and they're not in alignment with helping my people see? Because that's all you need. There's no great dramatic thing that our people have to do. We just have to simply remember who we are. So you got to understand, this whole world has taken generations to convince us that we're somebody other than who we are. This has taken millions and millions of dollars to constantly convince us that we are somebody other than we are. By the action alone, a man tells you what's really going on. You want to know where you're standing at? You follow the money. You see, people make things complex in order to lie. A lie gets complex. Don't you have to compound a lie with another lie and another lie and another lie to keep it going? But the truth is one and done. When somebody comes and tell you the truth, you may be mad in that moment, if you even get mad, but you got to stop and think like, dang, they did tell me the truth. It's done. What else can I bring further than you telling me the truth? There's nothing. You see? But with a lie is going to bring confusion. A lie brings injustice. A lie brings violence. A lie brings all those things that are negative. A lie brings unnecessarily complex perspectives. Why? Why do you need to be so complex? Why does it need to be so complex for me to spend $1? Unless somebody's lying. See, my job here only is just to bring the perspective. Then you take the perspective and you go do what you want to do with it. You can throw it away, which I expect most people to do, because this is for a certain frequency of people. And if you're not on that frequency, when I'm talking to you, it's going to sound like gibberish. It ain't going to make no sense. You know what I'm saying? But for those people that know me, they know that I never talk on anything that I don't personally understand. So if I'm speaking on it, it's because I know about it. If I don't know about it, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. Teach me. You understand? But if I'm speaking about something, it's because I thoroughly understand what I'm talking about and I can break it down for you so you can understand it and then take off and go do your own research and do your own thing and teach your people. See, hatred don't get you nowhere. Hating somebody is not the wave. You see, hatred is what got my people taken advantage of. Hatred. You see, the people that held that hatred, because we had and continue to have and continue to build and continue to create, and so that spawns hatred, because you can't do it. I hate them because they could do something I can't do. That's hatred. That's childlike behavior. Hatred brings violence. You see what I'm saying? Hatred breeds from ignorance. Hatred also breeds from admiration and the misuse and the misconception of love. It's hatred. So what we're looking at here in this land is there was a group of people that loved us so much they hated us. I don't need nobody to agree with me. You know what I'm saying? But I know what I speak. There's a group of people here that loved us so much they hated us. And you know what hatred did for these people? It fueled jealousy, envy, greed. Look at what we're dealing with today. See, the problem is that if you don't know where you come from and you have no idea who your people were before you, and you allow somebody else to come tell you who those people are, they're going to lie. Why is it so complex for us to get to our true history? Why do you got one side of people saying we came here on a slave ship and the other side of people saying, wait a minute, my great grandmother was an Indian. We was already standing. Why is there such a conflict and confusion unless somebody's lying? Okay. Last time we talked about money, we broke money down. We have been systematically giving our wealth to our enemy through paperwork, deception, coercion, and mistreatment. This is reality. And miseducation, I apologize. You signing papers, you don't even know what you signing. You sign for a loan, you sign the promissory note disappears. We ain't even paying attention. We just signing the paper, hoping we get the product. But don't you know that all products come out of the earth? So you're never separated from any product. But if you don't know the game, then you'll never see it from the correct perspective. Once you can see the game from the correct perspective, you make better decisions. Now it's nothing for a man to walk around without all those Federal Reserve notes in his pocket because he knows. You see? Now, how can I create those Federal Reserve notes since that's the way everybody else spends money? You got to follow along with the mindset of the people. So everybody else is spending money like that. How can I still protect myself and involve myself in their commercial reality, as false as it is? Ben Fisher, what's going on, man? My boy Ben, you know what I'm saying? We about to do for another fishing trip. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get that in. But if you sit here and you allow other people to dictate your perspective, because that's what we have, the first 18 years of our life, or excuse me, after the age of 4, we're going to say the next 14 years of your life, they're traded. The time is traded for indoctrination. Okay. And the indoctrination happens on both sides. Don't get it twisted now. You see, but we have to deal with our stuff first because ours goes back the furthest. Lies. Lies are they run deep. And they have many different forms. And we got to understand the use of a lie. Do you know that the police are legally bound to tell lies in the courtroom? They have no obligation to tell the truth. Did you know that? That's in the rules for the police. They don't have to tell the truth. They're paid to lie. Go read their rule book. Go read the statutes and codes that governs the police. They don't have to tell the truth. You see? But look how much faith our people have in that system. Understand? We have to start to do this thing a little bit different at some point in our life. Am I here to walk with you every step of the way or judge you or for what you are or are not doing? I'm not here for that, man. But my job is to give you the free perspective that I've been shown. And I've only been shown it because I've been guided through certain experiences in my life to understand from a different perspective. That's the only reason. Now, what did I do after that? Because you got to use wisdom to navigate this thing. That's why some people will come and say, man, your conversations be boring or your conversations give me life. It is not built for everybody. This is a frequency thing. You got to already have the mind's eye to search for something different. You see, your freedom is not out here like everybody else is just wherever you can go find it. It's not like that. It's hidden from you. We're dealing with a hidden agenda towards a certain group of people for a specific reason. This is what we have to navigate and break down first. Then after that, then you go into the next reality. But first, you have to navigate the world for yourself. You got to see what's going on around you and use what's going on around you to create the perspective you need to grow. That's what everybody's out here trying to do. Everybody. However, there are those people that have the gall enough to stand up for what they believe in. To stand up for what they believe in. To stand up for what they know is real. And those people see a different aspect of life. Think about this. If everybody was gifted to be the same or was supposed to be the same, then how can you have a regular driver's license? Then you have an international driver's license. Then you have a state national license. Think about this. It's not even a license. You have a state national title. You understand? All of these things are different perspectives in the same exact landmass. How is that possible? What about the fact that the only people who need to have a actual a state driver's license is anybody that is operating in commerce? What do I mean by commerce? Are you driving a big rig truck? Are you shipping goods from one land to another land? How about this? Are you in the business of transporting people around, like a city bus or a taxi? Those people are the only people that are supposed to have driver's license. Why? Because the Constitution says that no one shall impede your God-given right to travel. Anytime a policeman stops you, it is a commercial act. He's impeding your God-given right to travel. But you know what? If you go sign up for the driver's license, you waive the God-given right. It's not that it don't exist. You just waived it by your action. Why? Because somebody's lying to you, telling you that you got to have this, and this. And it's not the truth. All you got to do is go study. And then once you study, show thyself approved through action. This is what I'm here for. To talk about the things that are not talked about or discussed. We are going into a new frame of mind. It is not about new money. It is not about new experience. We are going into a new frame of mind. That is what the digital world represents. We are in a new state of mind. It's different now. It is a different perspective on reality. There is so much more that is going on than just the mundane everyday that we walk in and out of. There's much, much more. As we progress further, I don't want to get too outlandish, even though it's all a predication of reality. Because Listen to this. More and more people have been seeing sightings with this new video everything movement that we have going on now. There's been more sightings all over the world of all kind of different creatures and anomalies and different type of miracles and all kind of stuff going on in the world that normally we don't see because we're cut off. So as we go forward with this new perspective of mind to see deeper into the world that we're already living in, you're going to begin to see things that were right in front of your face begin to manifest or materialize themselves in your reality. Are you prepared to handle that? Most, no. Have you been eating your vegetables? Have you been drinking your clean water? Have you been eating your water? Have you been doing the things to give yourself natural spiritual gifts or the gift of spiritual insight into the next phase of reality? No, you haven't. Because if you have, then you will recognize that the digital world is to be used, not assimilated with. Just the same way that the internet was created before, it was only a tool to be used, not to be taken over by. You see? So you're supposed to understand how to separate yourself from that reality while still yet existing in the same exact world as everybody else. These are the superpowers that are supposed to be coming online we were talking about before. It's genetic coding. It's perspective. It's how your subconscious mind is being used in your waking moments. Everything is subtle. You see, like they always used to say all the time, God is never far away from you. God is never far. God is always right there with you, always right there. But you can make God seem like he's 100,000 miles away. You have the ability to do that. You see, you can turn your mind off and give it to somebody else to use for you. You can do that. Or you can decide to perceive things from a different perspective. That's what it's all about. How can you create a new world if you can't see from a different perspective? How do you create a new world if you're looking through the same lens every single other person is looking through? The exact same lens. Which is why I don't understand new age hip hop music. Everybody's dressed the same. Everybody looks the same. Everybody's talking about the same thing, but yet everybody's different. How? I don't get it. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So these realities that we study ourselves into, or excuse me, the reality that we have attached ourselves into is not the only one that exists. It's never been the only one that existed. You see, an Asian man that comes from wherever he comes from in Asia, he's going to come here and still yet bring his reality to America. Once he's assimilated into America, he's not going to stop being Asian. He's going to find where his reality exists. You see, he's going to find the people that help him see his reality. The same thing for the Indian man, the African man, the same thing for the European. It's the same thing. You're going to find the people that help you see your reality. So what's so different for us? I don't understand. Where are we going all over the world and finding the people to help us see our reality? That don't exist. You know? I'm not going to Italy and looking for American black people to come help me submit my reality in Italy. That don't exist. What about in England, Germany? All these places where we had a military, we still don't have pools of black people that are American, straight hood black people that's from this landmass that's moved to another landmass, and then I go to that landmass and now I go seek those people that will show me what I'm used to back home. That don't exist for us. Why not? Everybody else is doing it. Why does that not exist for us? It's just little things that when you stop and think about those things, it lets you know that there are lies being spread around. Somebody's lying. How do we get 30 million American black people from African slaves that were transported from one land to another land? Where do they come from? They said that was what, 1600 or 17, whatever it was, when the slaves and all that was coming up. From that, we got 30 million? How? And none of us have any type of representation in any other landmass except this one? This the only landmass we have representation in? 30 million people? It don't make any sense. When you really stop and look at the thing, it don't make any sense. So what is that telling you? That we've been existing in this same type of reality or same type of systematic oversight that we've been tuning ourselves into for the longest time. It's been our parents. From me, I have children now. So my children, if they were given this conversation, it would have been me, then my mom, then my mom's mom, my mom's mom's mom. Think about it, man. So we've been doing this same routine all this time, and we have no representation in any other land masses except this one. Meanwhile, you go other nations, let's go to the Middle East. They have representation here. They have communities here. They can come buy my land and push me out of it. I'm watching it happen where I sit. They can do that here. They can cross the border and never have been in America and get a grant coming straight in to get them going in business and get them cars and houses. And what is going on? So where is the landmass that my people can go to, and I'll come in and fresh out the gate, I'm gonna get me a loan. They're gonna give me a big, nice house and big fancy cars straight in it. But then they also gonna teach me who not to deal with when I come in that country. Where is that country so I can go to that country? Why does it seem like I'm landlocked to where I am with no representation out there in the world? Why is that? I'm curious, man. Can somebody answer that for me down in the comments below or whatever they be saying? You know what I'm saying? Like and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Where's the representation for me? But look what we do. Each one get a little bit. They come up. This is our people now we talking about. They get up. They come up. Now they all over the world. Oh, girl, look at what I'm doing that you can't do. This how we move. You see? Look what I'm doing that you can't do. So the few of us that get to go to another land, now all of a sudden we just belong to that land we just went to. It's so weird, man. The way we are is so weird. You know what I mean? We're a backwards race of people. We move backwards. You know what I mean? The whole world is showing us the example that we gave the world, and now we can't even follow our own example. Groups come here and they work together to build wealth, to build community. Go look around Pensacola and tell me how many of these taqueria places been popping up, and look at the neighborhoods that pop up all around them. They know how to help each other come up. They do what need to be done to help each other come up. If this one come here, if Javier just came in and Manuel is a millionaire, and Javier just coming in across the border. Now Javier would know to go to Manuel, because Manuel is going to say, you go here, get you some work, then come back and I'm going to go help you get a house. Now come back, we'll help you get a car. It's weird, man. It's weird because, and the only reason I say it's weird is because as much studying as I've done and as much I've looked into things, you know what I'm saying, that have to do with who we are as a race, we've always had a sense of community. We've always had a sense of having each other back. You know what I'm saying? We've always had a sense of protecting each other from the world. See, you got to understand something, man. When the first people came here, they were heathens. They warred with each other. They sought the blood of their brother. They would kill each other in a heartbeat. These were the type of people that came to our landmass. And you have to understand that. Now, see, I'm speaking from the point of knowing that this was our landmass, not Africa, not all that extra stuff that keep getting put on top of it. I'm talking about down home. Answer me this question, okay? Because I want this to be understood. So you answer me this question. Now, we were told in school that the Native Americans had long, jet black hair, straight black hair, and they looked like an Eskimo, okay? These are Native Americans. This is what we was told all this time. But I've been living in the eastern side of the United States my entire life, and I've never seen one of those Native Americans over here. Now, the issue that I have with that is that if you say these people are the true Aboriginal and the natives to this land, why would they not be on the eastern side of the country? Why are they all stuck out west following that same trail going from the Bering Strait down to the coast of Chile? They're all the same. Why is that? Nobody thought to spread further out into the country. Nobody thought to go. How about you weren't allowed over there? Go read the history. You have to understand the trick that happened here in this place if you want to continue to grow. Okay. Now, what am I saying by growth? Because am I saying your pockets? Because that seemed to be the only place that we look for growth in. Like, you know what I mean? Is in our pockets. And if your pockets ain't right, then you ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? How many gold coins did Jesus hand to people? How many bags of gold coins was Jesus walking down the street just throwing out all over the place, throwing gold coins in order to get people to listen to him? How many times, you know what I'm saying, in order to get people to be healed? How many bags of gold coins? There were none. There was no gold coins. It wasn't like that. It was the bare necessity of life. And through the bare necessity of life, you're given the gift of insight to be able to see what you're really up against. Don't you know the enemy came to this man and said, if you would just bow down and worship me, everything you lay your eyes on, you will have dominion over. To bow down and worship me, says the enemy. Think about 2023. If you bow down and worship me, all the credit and credit cards and loans and everything that you can ever get your hands on will be yours. Just give me your soul. This is why they say money is the root of all evil. People will do evil things when it comes to money. You know, people will do evil things when it comes down to $1. You know, and that's reality. But what did Jesus turn around and say to him? He said, look, man, why would I worship you for what my creator already gave me dominion over? Think about it. How many products can we look at in our viewpoint today that did not come from some form of the earth? So a man can come to you and say, man, you gotta give me, you gotta give me $600,000 for that cheap rundown shack over there just because I want to charge you that much for it. But the shack came out the ground. Every aspect of the shack. So you're not even paying for the shack. What are you paying for? I'm going to continue to be me, man. I don't know how to be anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And the reality of why I speak is not for those that are in my age group and above. You know what I'm saying? It's not for that. It's for your children that's going to stumble onto this one day, because they are. Your children are naturally going to be more inquisitive because this is the design of the spirit. All those superpowers that most of our age group is out here looking for, they already got it. So I would be foolish to think that I'm talking to grown adult people, because I'm not. I'm talking to your children. You want to know what's crazy? A lot of people think that we're already out of the 40 days and 40 nights. We never came out of the 40 days and 40 nights yet. You know that? We have never come out. We're still in the 40 days and 40 nights. We're still stripping the wheat from the chaff. We still in that process. You know what I'm saying? This is why our enemy still has dominion over us. When I say our enemy, I say, come go out there and go slice those. No, you have to recognize what's real from what's fake. Martin Luther King spoke that same dream of people commingling together. And then at the end, right when they killed him, he realized what he was doing. It is not supposed to be like that. Why? Because everybody coming to these shores are foreigners. Why would I want to integrate my bed with somebody that's not supposed to be here? If I take my bed up right now and let me go to Tamil, India, I'm going to find nice people who may give me shelter. But if all my people did a mass exodus to their land, we would be stopped at the door. Hold on, wait a minute. What you trying to do? This is not your place. You understand? But in this country, it's okay. After the people that are germane to the land have been destroyed, and this is where we are. The things we celebrate is destruction. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, now, I mean, I done popped the perk 30. I mean, it's catchy. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. It's catchy. I dance too. You know what I'm saying? I sing too. You know what I mean? Because it's catchy. But at the same time, what purpose is it serving for us as a community? Nothing. It's destruction. It marks destruction. You understand? Because if that was not the case, then don't you know that the other communities will be singing the same thing? Now listen, a lot of their children are beginning to. Why? Because of the intermingling. But guess what? They're already expendable anyway. See, you have to understand how money flow. This is wealth transfers. This whole system is set to implode on itself. You see? And there are going to be many casualties of war that didn't even have to be casualties because they're choosing a reality that has nothing to do with them in the first place, all predicated on lies. You don't know who you are, so you act accordingly. You think every other nation's information is the information you're supposed to follow and worship. That is not the reality. But if you don't know the history, then you think that way. Not here to change. It's not about trying to change nobody's mind or make nobody, feel guilty for who they. But the reality is what you don't know will kill you. This is the reality that has been playing out all throughout history. What you don't know will kill you. What you forget, you doom yourself to repeat. We're in a critical space right now because this space marks multiple dimensions or multiple realities converging on each other in a 0 point. How are you going to deal with these things as they begin to manifest themselves into your reality? How are you going to navigate this life when all roads lead to brick walls? You see? Where a man is not supposed to be walking of his feet, but he's supposed to be flying. This is a whole nother perspective. How are you going to deal with these things when all of the money ceases to flow? Where you can't base your little bit of power off of how much more money you have over the next person that look like you. How you going to survive? When the supermarket stops selling food and all you got to rely on is your skills. Your ability to grow your food, how are you going to survive when you can't depend on your community because you destroyed it? These things are important to understand. Extremely important. Do you know that refugees are projected to be the new business moguls by 2050? Refugees, okay? The ones that are left. They're projected to be the new business moguls of the world by 2050. What does that say for the American dollar? What does that say for all these new moguls we have running around everywhere? Think about what's going on here, man. It's not that hard to do. Going into a world perspective, going into the deeper understanding of what's going on around you is going to strip you of this finite reality of having money on a schedule like everybody else, so it makes it seem like you have a lot to play with. All because we're getting it on a schedule the same way. Think about it. Bi-weekly pay scale, weekly pay scale, this, that, and the third. It makes you feel like you're actually collecting something because everybody gets something on that same day. That's an ego motivation. But go talk to a true business person and they tell you money don't come like it, don't work like that. Some weeks you may not see no money. Then all of a sudden you'll get lump sums coming in months behind each other, and then it'll go back dry again, and then it'll kick back up and then go dry, and you get a big boost and then you go back down. This is reality of what life is. If you're not feeling that reality, you're not growing. There's so much that we have to learn. I mean, half the time I don't even be knowing what to talk about. Like, I just come on here just say, okay, boom. When people gonna join in with me, we gonna have a conversation. Like, and what's up, D? What's good with you, bro? You know what I'm saying? My people gonna come in here. We gonna talk. We gonna have a conversation. We gonna just do life. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's more conversations needed than one time a week. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna come in here. We just gonna give a perspectives on life. You know what I mean? On the life we've been seeing to this point. And what actions we can take to predicate ourselves a little bit different. You see, you got to understand, it's not just about the information. You know what I mean? It's not just the information only. You got to understand there are people out there, there's different age groups. At a certain age group, if you ain't gotten to a certain place in life, that creates depression. Now you got to navigate through melanin and depression. Melanin and fatigue, because you got a lot of people out here that's been working their skin to the bone just to try to keep up, and they're fatigued and they're embarrassed to say they're tired, burnout, because you got to keep going in this commercialized reality that we call life. You got to keep going. You got to keep it going. A lot of people are burnt out, depressed. This is all behind the scenes stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is stuff most of us don't even want other people to know that we deal with, because we want to always be on. You know, loneliness. Loneliness. That is a major problem in our community, especially for our women. Loneliness. Think about the insanity of sitting in front of a square box, filming yourself all the time, based on loneliness. Everybody ain't supposed to be a content creator, just like everybody ain't supposed to be a doctor. Everybody ain't supposed to be a lawyer or a taxi cabman. Everybody can't be the same thing. So why is everybody a content creator? Somebody lying. Somebody's using that just as a means to have friends. Man, boy, look, if we told the truth about what was really going on, we could get some real help around. We could get ourselves serious help, because people are suffering for more than they're letting off. And we're using the digital world as a Band-Aid, and that is a mistake. It's time for us to do things a little bit different. It ain't a major change. It's just changing your mind. You still gonna get up and go to work tomorrow, but you got to change your perspective, change your mind. What are you looking at? When somebody hands you a contract, do you know how to read the elements of a contract? Do you know the spiritual basis of contract? Most of us don't know. And it's what you don't know that will leave you hurt. It will leave you beat up, leave you wondering why. Because you don't know. You don't know what you're giving up in order to gain a privilege or a benefit. Driving is a privilege. It's not a right. It's a privilege. You give privileges to children. You give privileges to children. You see, but your right to travel can never be impeded. We talked about that a little while ago. It can never be impeded by anybody. Nobody can impede your right to travel. But do you know how to enforce that? You don't know how to enforce that. You see, our earlier forefathers, they didn't have to enforce that. They just did it because that was their action. But see, then you had those that collusion around them that say, you know what? How can we impede that action? How can we make money off that? Them moving all around and doing, how can we slow that down, gain more control, and make more money off of that activity? How can we do that? This is what the devil does. You understand? The devil sits around and plots how he can win, how he can trick people and devour. This is aspects of Satan, of a satanic principle. Now, what we call satanic may be negative or be whatever you want to call it, but these are the principles of taking advantage of other people. But these actions are always based towards a certain group of people. It's about a certain specific group of people. See, before early 2000s, mid 2000s, you had different timelines that we could jump into, right? So I could say, all right, we're going to talk about finance. We're going to talk about Federal Reserve. We're going to talk about this, and then we'll stay in that lane, right? Then we'll say, okay, we're going to talk about spiritual matters. We're going to go over here, and we're going to go into spiritual matters, and then we're going to talk about spiritual matters, right? And then we're going to talk about third dimensional, matters, relationship matters, and matters of the heart, matters and love. These things could be separated. See, now, what we're dealing with now, we're dealing with an overlap of all things at one time. We're reaching a zero space. If you know, you know. When you flush your toilet starts out at a what? 360 degree, whatever, going around. But as you notice, the further you go down the tunnel, the more narrow the tunnel gets. We're coming into a 0 point. So everything is overlapping on top of everything. So if you're not on the frequency, the conversation won't make sense to you. When God spoke to Moses, don't you know none of the other children of Israel could hear that? They couldn't understand that conversation because they wasn't on the frequency. They was worshiping gold calves and eating gold and doing all this other kind of stuff like this. They could not match the frequency, so they couldn't hear God. You see? What about Noah? The people around Noah could not match the frequency, so they could not hear the voice of God. It won't make sense unless you're on the frequency. And what we're talking about is putting yourself on the frequency. You have to understand that this world is not predicated for our success. It's not built on that. We have to create that. We have to say enough is enough and create that. Nobody can do that for us. We can't continue to blame our way through. We can educate ourselves on what happened, what's going on, you know what I'm saying? What could be the result if we don't do this? We can educate ourselves on these things, but blaming people is not the wave because we're choosing. We're choosing. This world is built on our choice. It's always been built on our choices. How many of our people sit back and say right now, man, when it was Donald Trump, man, I had a job. Gas prices was down. I could go into business easy. I could do all these things, right? But then we still turn around and say, you know what? The hell with Trump, because everybody say he bad, so we gonna go over here and go vote for this dude. And now look how upside down we are. Wishing we can get the old thing back. That's how we do. You see what I'm saying? Instead of being wise from the beginning and listening to wise counsel, we don't do that. I don't know if y'all remember, like, I had wind downs before I had my Trump 2024 flag up. You know what I'm saying? Just being funny, like, you know what I'm saying? Just making people mad. You will not understand how many black people came to me telling me to take that down. Black people was coming to me telling me to take that down, as if we didn't have Biden in office that's doing all this crap that's going on right now. Amazing. I said, man, have you even looked into this man's campaign? How much money did he receive from being president? They can't even answer the question. You don't even know. So why are you coming at me from an emotional standpoint when you can't even look at politics to figure out what's real from what's fake? You should shut up, sit down, and listen. You feel me? So you can make educated guesses, so we can make educated guesses as a community, or educated choices. But nah, that brings even more opposition. This is what I get all the time. You see what I'm saying? But the reality is, ain't nobody helping us out here. Who's out here helping us? Even the so-called leaders and the people that we look at as leadership in the community, they ain't helping nobody save their property. They ain't got no funding set up for you. So if you can't keep up with the downtown, keep your house up to a certain standard, or we gonna take it from you. Ain't no funds down there for them people. And we got all these so-called community leaders with all this access and all this so-called money that they have and all this funding and all this information they have to give to people. Where they at? Somebody lying. So this is the reality of what we're living as a people. And it's not just here. This is happening everywhere. This is the final strip of the Aboriginal wealth. And you don't understand. We don't understand this. Like I asked y'all before, how many people have seen ancestors that worked their fingers to the bone to build their houses up and the house deplete in one generation? That's from ignorance. That's because you don't know. What you don't know kills you. And when I say you, I'm not talking about an individual. I'm talking about a community, a group of people. Who has the wealth that we're supposed to look up to and be like, man, I want to be like that? How did you get there? Then they come to you and say, man, you got to be moral, do things like this, do things like this. Now what we have is, I want to be like that. Oh, man, in order to be like this, man, you got to go out here and go kill 30 people. That's your initiation. You got to go do this and do that. Go do this and do. It's a mess, man. We're still in the 40 days and 40 nights. We're still walking in the wilderness. We ain't never left the wilderness yet. The foot shall become the head, the promised land. We ain't there. That's never happened yet. You understand? That's not happened. We still walking around in the New Testament. The New Testament was a distraction. Oh, okay. Now we going, okay. Because the New Testament is only predicated for a certain group of people to act like somebody. Look, man. If we take and study our actions and how our actions have motivated the world over the past 100 years, you will understand what Christ energy is. You see, you won't understand what Christ energy is unless you're able to look at yourself. Because this is the story of Christ. Never was it said to worship Jesus. Nowhere. There's no text that says worship me. It never said that to anybody. Jesus said, if you want to come unto the Father, no man can come unto the Father but by me, right? What does by mean? By is like, pertaining to. You have to copy my actions. Right? Copy my actions. Then turn around and said this. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. Why? Why is everybody now acquiring to be rich? Think about it from a financial perspective. Not because you have multiple children and those children are going to carry your perspective, your lineage, your bloodline. Not because we got multiple acreage of land that we're all dividing amongst each other so we all can have a house, so we all have a community garden, so we all have community lakes and this. We're not doing it like that. We're looking for each man for himself. So now we have women that are able to say, if a man ain't matching my $100,000 a year, then I don't want him. What are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense. It's not making sense. Men are not supposed to be as ignorant as we are. Then you don't have so many emotional men that have to tap themselves into the womanhood to try to feel like they belong. And vice versa for the women. This is the reality of what we're being tricked and deceived. As usual. This is what don't make no sense to me. As usual. It ain't like it's nothing new. This is as usual. We're being tricked, coerced, and deceived as usual. And we're falling in line as usual. So when somebody else come along, guess what? Your children gonna come along, gonna find this conversation. Then they're going to be talking a little bit different, and you ain't going to understand why they're talking different. And other conversations like this one, they're going to find those conversations. They're going to tap into those conversations. Now, even a larger percentage of your children are going to understand the wavelength because they're being born on God frequency. Now it's up to the parents and the indoctrination system to pull them down. But what happens to the children if the parents find the God frequency? What happens to the children? No matter what struggles or hardships they try to put in front of their face, don't the Bible say, no weapon formed against me shall prosper? A weapon is going to form against you and prosper if you're outside of the God frequency. If you're out of alignment. We chasing money. We chasing Federal Reserve notes and debt, and we're chasing credit cards, and this is what we're chasing. So we're outside of the God frequency. So all weapons formed against us will prosper. They already been prospering. But what do I know? I don't know anything outside of what I know. And what I know is we've been doing this wrong for a long time. A long time. And it's time for something new. Each person needs the opportunity to think from a different perspective, to use their subconscious mind from a different perspective. Then those that are adept in their perspective are going to come forward. This is natural selection. George Washington Carver was the man to create peanut butter. His frequency was the frequency to create peanut butter. Then we had a cotton gin that was created by another black man over here, and a light bulb created by another black man over here. But if they're outside of God frequency, can they pull even the dynamic to do so? No. This is how we get weaker over time. Now we have less inventors. Look at us. We're not inventing anything. We're going along with the status quo. Now the rest of the world is defining what our world is supposed to look like so we can continue to grow others and not ourselves. It's frequency, man. All of this stuff is frequency. What are you putting in the mindset of your people? My people come around me, they know how I get down. They know what I'm going to talk about. If it's hard for me to relate to what everybody else is talking about because it doesn't edify. What I mean by that? Can I not have just mundane, everyday conversation? Yes. Is it bad? No, not all the time. But the question I always have is, how can I grow? I'm looking to grow. Ever since I came into this world, I ain't been doing nothing but growing. I used to be 1, right? Then I was 15. Then I was 25. All I've been doing is growing. So why should my mind ever stop growing? Why should my heart chakra ever stop growing? Why should my subconscious ever stop expanding? When my body and my cellular structure physically, that's all that we're doing is growing. See, what the way we moving is not making no sense. I pass by so many different neighborhoods and I see all these people sitting out under a tree. They drunk, they high. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's fueling anybody to do anything different than just sit there and wither away. This is a common place for our people. So what am I saying? I always got to come to this point. Like, what am I saying? What am I saying that's needed for us? You know? What am I saying that each one should try to uphold or try to take on for themselves? It's nothing more than a shift in your energy, in your perspective, a shift in the wavelength. Understand what's going on around you. That's it. Once you do that, your actions are going to change naturally to your own genetic structure. It's going to change. But you need to understand why it is so important for other groups of people to keep you away from knowing who you are, period. Why would you spend millions of dollars on propaganda to keep me confused and lied to? If I'm really that dumb and ignorant as a group of people, why do you have to spend so much money keeping me stupid? Why does everybody else know their cultural dynamic, their cultural wavelength, and their cultural basis except me? I'm African? Cool. Which part of Africa? Which part can I say is my history? Egypt? No. Not Egypt. They destroyed that. Nuclear. We'll talk about that later. That's how you get a desert with little spots of green growing up out of it, is because of nuclear warfare. We'll talk about that later. Where do I belong to in Africa since I come from that place? Where do I belong to genetically in Africa? Nowhere. Someday. So a book I suggest for y'all to read, because I'm about to get up out of here. A book I suggest for y'all to read. Go look for it anyway. 103 Amazing Facts About the Black Indian of the Western Hemisphere, outlined by Canyon, a non-reservationist. Okay. I am on, let me see, I'm on Marketplace. This is Facebook Marketplace, right? And I want y'all, I'm going to take it to y'all so y'all can see. Hold up, I'm going to put it in the camera. I'm going to put it in the camera so y'all can see how much they have this book listed for. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on, look. Let me see if I can bring that into focus. Hold on. Look right down here. You should be able to see that right there. That says $250,000. Okay? For that book. Man, that low key looked a little blurry on there, but I'm gonna see. I'm gonna check when I get to the house. But this book says $250,000. 103 amazing facts about the Black Indian of the Western Hemisphere. Okay, $250,000 for one book. I'm not making this up. It's right here. Facebook Marketplace. Go type it up in Facebook Marketplace and you see for yourself. $250,000 for a book about the facts of the Black Indian of the Western Hemisphere. That's talking about me and you. You understand? You go on Amazon, it doesn't exist. They have no copies for sale. Okay? You go on eBay. You may find one. Hold on, let me see if I can go on eBay and find one. Hold on. Let's see. eBay. Let's see. Wait, let me make sure I got the right spelling, because I typed it in 103 amazing facts about the Black Indian. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to eBay. This is very interesting to me, man, because for me, I have been on this wave all my life. I would ask my grandma all the time, like, Grandma, if Big Granny had 10 brothers and sisters, who are those people? And how come we never heard about them before? You know what I'm saying? Because I want to know who my family is. Then I want to know, if she had 10 brothers and sisters, who were their parents? You know, it's important. Black Indian. All right, I'm on eBay right now. Hold on, let me type it in. No exact matches found. None. You see what I'm saying? There's more going on here than what we think is going on here. And that's all I'm saying to you. And I know better now, because I've actually went down the rabbit hole. This is what I do. I went down the rabbit hole to find out what's going on. And the things that I found have shocked me to understand that I've been being lied to my whole life. My people have been lied to for their whole lives. My grandma was lied to. My forefathers were lied to past a certain point in order to get us to believe something that's not real, to help other people satisfy their agendas and their gain and you don't understand. All Ivy League schools were built by Black people. All of the Ivy League schools that we're kept out of was built by us. It floors me to think that we're looking at us every time we go outside and we can't even see it, man. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I hope this helps somebody tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure y'all left a lot of comments. Again, I can't see them on the screen. I was following on my phone, but we're going to get it together. You know what I'm saying? And every single conversation, like, it's all love. Like, you got to understand that love is the only thing that's going to take you to the next land. You feel me? You have to have love. The love that we talk about for self-love is not a personal thing. The self-love is supposed to be for the community. You're only as strong as your weakest link. You're only as strong as your weakest links. You understand? And as a community, we have created a lot of weak links. We got a lot of work to do, but that's okay. All right. So Luke 1817, man, I'm signing out, man. I'm finna go ahead and get up out of here. I appreciate all y'all for tuning in. And y'all come back with me next Monday, man. We're going to be back on this thing again. Until then, y'all stay easy. And yeah, do what you got to do to grow. Peace out.